Hello again. So recently I was doom scrolling and I saw a video about anxious attachment, and I already made a video on my sister saying that I have anxious attachment, but the source of it was alleged to be in the video, not from my sister, that you grew up with uncertainty, and anxious attachment is just about how much uncertainty you can tolerate. Right? Maybe you need constant reassurance from somebody in order for you to feel secure. You're unsure about what other people's feelings are. You are unsure about empathy. And I don't want to label myself as autistic, but I can't really read people's minds in a way in which I feel like other people can. But I also firmly believe in the idea of empathy being inherently problematic. You know what I mean? It's just your good intentions. The idea that you can get along with somebody and that you can understand them and you can make a best guess of who they are and what they're feeling and how they're doing is great when you get it right. But you'll never truly understand what it's like to be them because you are not them. You're not living in their shoes. You don't know what their color blue looks like. You don't know what their angry might feel like. You don't know what their feelings are. You just are taking a best guess based off of your own experiences. And I think about that. And for me, that gives me difficulty in trusting people because I trust myself, but I am not them. How can I trust them? How can I believe in something to last for a lifetime when they are not me? I'm the only thing that is guaranteed in this world, but when you want to get into a relationship and you want your lives to be increasingly intertwined, it's something in which you don't want to give up. It's you create this sense of security, this sense of forever with somebody. And you have to have trust that you are going to grow together instead of growing apart. And that's something that's very hard for me to believe in because it hasn't happened to me yet. And I've had the feeling that I could just get through anything with someone and that things will just work out. And I live my life with those very same principles. I'm not sure every time I get in my car that I'm going to make it. I'm not sure that when I go out with my friends that I'm not just going to get shot in the street or my friends are still going to like me when I hang out with them or that my joke's going to land. There's just so many unknowns. And that's something that you grow to accept. But it's something that I've not been able to grow to accept in my relationships. And I couldn't tell you why. It's maybe I'm putting this pressure that it always has to be something, that you need to develop a history, a track record, something that I can believe in, right? The data, the patterns. Now, people are going to be consistent because they develop themselves in that way. You get neurological patterns that get simulated frequently. People have a tendency to do what's easy. What's easy is to do something which they already know. I can reason with myself and try to believe in something again and again and again with the best informed decision, the most information that I can. And it doesn't stop me from just that general idea that humans, they are spontaneous creatures. They lack reason. They can be random. It's difficult to truly and wholly believe in someone, to understand them. And yet people still are looking for connection where somebody just gets them, where they don't have to explain themselves. The whole reason why I believe in not being able to understand someone is because the best way you can understand somebody is just to ask them how they're doing. And when I've been in relationships and you ask time and time again, how are they? How are they doing? Why do you do this? You ask people to explain themselves. It gets to a point you need to find the axioms, and if there's just that barrier of understanding that you cannot bridge, then there's going to be a gap between you and them, which you cannot bridge. And they're going to look for somebody who just gets them, who understands them. And I wish I could just understand them too, but I can't. And there's some very sad thoughts out there about how you can put in effort, you can, you know, be the best boyfriend. You can be upfront. You can follow all the principles on the reels, and you can read their mind and follow the societal patterns, and you still could not be the one for them. I think a really good analogy about it is you could be the most beautiful, awesome shade of green, but somebody's just not looking for green. Maybe they're looking for blue. And there's nothing wrong with you being green. So maybe somebody wants that green out there. And you just have to believe that that person will come. And that directly contradicts this idea of anxious attachment that I have, where I have trouble believing in something, and which just is, or it just will be, or I hope that it just works out. But I do it for my career, and I do it for my friends, and I do it for my family. Unconditional love. I believe that things can just be, and that we just are. And I couldn't tell you why I can't translate that to, my family. Not my family. A lover. And that's what's been eating away at me. I'm realizing that this channel I started as an advice channel, but as I've been going more and passing my time, that it's not necessarily about finding the answers. It's about developing that connection and that similarity in that life experience. And I feel like that's something that people are missing out on. Being vulnerable, being honest, developing those authentic experience. And just because something is quote unquote authentic doesn't mean that it needs to be novel, right? The connection is in the shared experience. That means that it happened to all of us in some shape or form. So that's what's been eating away at me. And that's my anxious attachment. All right. Bye-bye.